So 2/3 plus 3/4, you know, when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you always want to do like, I like the crisscross applesauce, right? So crisscross applesauce is where it's just sort of a shortcut. It's not changing anything. It's purely a shortcut. It's not a trick. It's just a shortcut. So usually what you do is you find the least common multiple, right? And then you multiply everything by that. So they have the common denominator, and then you can add the top numbers. Crisscross applesauce is just a shortcut. It's just kind of cutting out that whole like rewriting them with the same denominator and just going ahead and writing the numerators over the same denominator. Let's get into it. I'll show you what I mean. Hi, I'm Sarah. I've been a STEM and math teacher for 20 years, and I like to make math engaging and fun and easy to understand. If you want more practice problems, if you need some tutoring or any extra help, click the link and do the stuff. Shoot me an email. I'm gonna do Chris, 3 times 3, cross, 2 times 4, and then applesauce is 3 times 4. That gives me my denominator. So I have 4 times 2, which is 8, plus my symbol still stays the same in the middle. 3 times 3, which is 9, over 12, because 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm just gonna add those numerators. Now, if this were subtraction, right, I would still be doing subtraction. So I would do the subtraction here, okay? But I've got 8 plus 9 over 12, which is 17 over 12. So here's where I think the question came up, which is that 17 over 12, what do we do with this? So when we're simplifying fractions, there's a couple of things that we're looking for. Are they both divisible by the same number? Well, 17 is prime, so no. 17 is prime, so I know it's not divisible by anything except for 1 and 17, and I know that 12 is not divisible by 17. There we go. But I do notice that 17 is bigger than 12. So that's what that means by a top-heavy fraction. Top-heavy fraction means that the top is bigger than the bottom. You can think about this in a lot of different ways. The simplest way to think about this, I think, is if you do, well, how many times can 12 go into 17? 1 12 is 12. 2 12s is 24, so that's beyond 17. 12 can only go into 17 one time, and then what's left over is 17 minus 12, so there's 5 left over. So that's 5 over 12. So that's sort of the simplest way to think about that, right? Is how many times does the denominator go into the numerator? You could also think about this. I use the example of like filling up a bucket, right? Or filling up cases of tennis balls. Or in this case, I mean, since we're talking about 12s, let's talk about eggs. So how many dozen eggs is 17? Well, it makes 1 whole dozen, and then you have 5 more in the next carton. So you have 1 whole dozen, and then 5 more of a dozen. That's MathedUp.